You might be manning this chat too, by the way.
Past, right? So you're interfering with past, that's going to affect what? Future, right?
But I put in the chat, like,
That,
hang on,
future,
just,
right? We're going to see, so that happened, we interfere with the past.
I'm gonna turn me on.
1 second, put them on. Okay, you guys are going on a kick. You ready?
How do I know if I'm on?
I'm just going to push it on now.
Oh.
So you'll be on about 30 seconds.
Okay,
Okay, ready?
yep.
Stand by.
I see it, wait. Why do I keep getting this? I got it.
Good morning, everyone. This is Mrs. Bush. How are you this morning? Good morning, everybody. I'm just confirming that everybody can view me. There have been some technical issues, so just hold on 1 second, and then we'll get started. So just hold on 1 second, and then we'll get started. Okay, good morning, everyone. Again, this is Mrs. Bush. Thank you for bearing with us as we were dealing with a MacBook compatibility issue. I'm here this morning broadcasting live from Bayonne High School's TV studio, and I'm going to be doing a brief presentation on the honors program and the timelines on selecting courses. I just want to confirm a couple things before we get started. Each and every one of you should have in front of you the elective course sheet. It is a two-sided piece of paper. It lists all different electives that I will be talking about during this presentation. You can circle, star, highlight anything that sounds interesting as I go through the presentation to aid you in selecting some coursework. The other thing that you need to know is if there are any questions during my presentation, if you can kindly raise your hand, ask your school counselor. They will be putting your question in a text chat that we will be monitoring, and from there I'll be able to answer all of your questions. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I just need to do some quick overview of high school's graduation requirements. Just so you are aware, all New Jersey high schools require coursework and credits in order to receive a diploma. With that being said, there are courses you must take in English, math, science, and social studies. The majority of them require 3 years. English requires 4 years. World language, fine and performing arts, 21st century, all require 1 year. You need phys ed and health every year you're in high school, and then a financial literacy course that we do for a semester. So this is the overview of what is required for coursework. This is important to know because later in this presentation, we're going to talk to you a little bit about college and applications. So you are going to need to go back to this slide and just make sure you are understanding what is required to get that diploma. We're going to hop right into some terms that are going to be very new to you. The first term is going to be called Carnegie Unit. Colleges use different terms for the same concept. So it could be, sorry, I was dealing with the bells. Carnegie units could also be called a college entrance unit, could also be called an academic unit. Like I said, colleges use these words interchangeably, and these are the academic content courses you take: English, math, science, social studies, and world language. When we go through this presentation, this orange little box that says Carnegie Unit will be on the pages that really highlight those Carnegie Unit courses to make your life easier when you're trying to figure out what courses you want to take. Normally, if you do the required courses for graduation, you'll be taking a minimum of 16 Carnegie units. That's important to know because among you, I might have some potential college athletes. Different colleges will require a different number of Carnegie units. In the same regard, I will have some of you in the audience who are going to be looking at some highly competitive schools, and they're going to require more than 16 Carnegie units. Everything else are considered electives. So electives are required. They enhance your transcript, they enrich your background. Some colleges require certain elective courses in order to get in, and it also highlights any special talents or interests that you may have. So electives usually fall in these categories: business, computer science, engineering, health science, visual and performing arts, and any of our vocational trades courses. Okay, on the slides that I'm referring to later on, you will not see anything on that slide that identifies it as a free elective. Just know that if that orange box is missing, it falls in free elective category. Now, you are identified as our top performing students. With that being said, we need to start really focusing on your post-secondary plans. Here you are sitting in 8th grade, and I already have you graduating high school and off to college. You need to have an idea of what type of school you are looking to go to, because depending on the school and the competitiveness will dictate, if you look at that bottom row, the number of Carnegie units that you will need. Again, if you do the bare minimum for graduation, I told you you'll have 16, so you're going to see right in the middle column there in the competitive schools. Anything harder than a competitive, those highly competitive, very competitive, most competitive schools, they are telling you, if you use this chart, how many years of that content area you will need. So for English, for the most part, you're in really great shape because you need 4, although some schools may require 5. Your lab sciences, your math, your social studies all require 3 to graduate, but some of those other schools are asking for 4 or more. And it's important to note that you only need 1 year of a world language to get a diploma. You need 2 years of a world language to get into a least competitive school. But anything from a competitive level on, you will need 3 or more years. So this chart is just giving a quick overview of the different levels of schools. And I always like to say that at this point in the presentation, this PowerPoint and this video will be shared with you. You will be able to go back to this chart as often as you want to take a look at the last slide and this slide, so you can kind of get an idea where you fall, so you can start planning out your high school career so that you can get into those dream schools that you have in mind. But again, your most competitive, highly and very competitive, all the ones on the top row, you are really going to look, I put this slide in here twice just so I can go back to it. You're going to really be looking at maxing out on those content areas, those academic units, in order to qualify for admission. Okay? Before we get into anything further, I just need to highlight the fact that at Bayonne High School, we do offer 24 AP level courses. Those 24, there are no real requirements to get in, except for the fact that you are in the honors program. Okay? We do not restrict the number of AP courses that you are going to take. If it fits in your schedule, you are allowed to take it. Unlike some other schools that you have to be accepted into a specific program and then can only take the APs in that program, if you want to take AP, we can take up to usually 5 is the max that our seniors take. Some max out at 3 because they are college level courses. But if it can fit in your schedule, then we can get you in. Just know, for every AP exam that or AP class you take, you will be taking an exam. So do not overload yourself with APs, and your counselor here at the high school will really guide you when you're sitting down and doing scheduling for grade 10, 11, and 12. For incoming freshmen like yourself, there will only be one AP course you can take, and that's open to all of you. That's the AP Human Geography course. And we're going to talk about that one in a few slides from now. I do want to highlight that we do have an early college program. For those of you who are not familiar with this program, the early college program is a dual enrollment program. You're a structured cohort. You take a set schedule for all 4 years. There will be no flexibility in the courses that you are allowed to pick. And that's really because you're going to receive a high school diploma and an associate's degree in liberal arts by the time you graduate. With that being said, in order to qualify for the coursework for both the degree and the diploma, it has a very rigid set of courses. Also keep in mind that to get into this specific program, you are going to have to sit for the AccuPlacer, and you need to be identified as college ready. If you are interested in the early college program, when we meet with you to start selecting courses, you can express your interest at that time, and we will identify you as a potential candidate. But we'll have a separate presentation on the early college program later. I just wanted to highlight this for you now. Please know that this early college program is at no cost to you. So you are not paying for coursework at Hudson County. You are not paying for the textbooks. This is something that the school district will be paying for. Before I move forward, I just want to make sure that you have a clear understanding. Are there any questions currently out there that I should answer? Answer. Answer. All right, not seeing any questions, and I'm going to go ahead and move on and talk about specifically the honors program and what that program looks like to you. So the first and most important piece will be dismissal. Okay, we're going to talk about your school day because as an honor student, it's very different than a traditional Bayonne High School student. Your school day will begin 0 period, which is at 7:55 a.m. You will have a full schedule. That means you'll have 7 academic courses, and you will have a lunch. That is a total of 8 periods. From there, you can dismiss after period 7 at 2 p.m. if you choose. However, some of you may want to stay and have an option of doing what we call a super schedule, where you will take an additional course. So that means you will have 8 academic classes and a lunch. Or some of you may want to stay and do a non-credit option course, like a study hall, I have strength and conditioning, yoga, and skills and drills. Those are those non-credit courses. That's just giving you time in school to do some work or to practice some additional skill sets. Maybe you're the potential student college athlete that we are looking at. My credit-bearing courses are going to be any of the electives that I'm going to be talking to you about. In particular, that AP Human Geo will be offered that 8th period time slot as well. If you opt for this second option, you will be dismissing at 2:40, not at 2 o'clock. I have one question in the chat right now, so hold on one second so I can see.
What grade do you have to maintain to stay?
The question, and going back to my early college slide, the question is what grade do you need to maintain to stay in the early college program? In order to stay in the early college program, you have to maintain a C average. Okay? And now another question I have coming from Mary J.
How many elective courses can we take? What language is the coding class taught in?
And the Mary J questions I did not get to yet because they're future slides. So just bear with me. I should be able to answer most of those questions. Your schedule. So I want you to take a look at this, and it's really very important. That's why I actually wrote it on the screen for you. This is not your schedule. This is not the order of your courses that you will be taking. It's just an overview so that you can see how many periods you have in a day and the content areas that you have to take. Okay? These are also things that when you go home later this evening, you need to think about so that you have a good understanding for when you select your courses. You will be taking 0 period PE. That will be a set period. That is when your phys ed will be taking place. Like I mentioned before, you'll have an English, math, science, social studies, world language. Those are required coursework. You will get to pick your elective. A fine art, a performing art, or a 21st century, and we're going to talk about those in a little bit. There's your lunch. And then again, if you opt for that second option to do a super schedule, you will get another course or a study, or you just release at 2 p.m. So as an honors student, you have the most rigorous curriculum that we offer at Bayonne High School. You will not have a choice in placement. You're going into English 9 honors, biology honors, and world history honors. Depending on what math you are currently in will depend on what math you will take with me next year. So if you're currently in Algebra 1, you will be going into geometry honors. If you're currently in Math 8, you will be going into Algebra 1 honors. Those courses are set. Now I'm going to go over quickly some of the electives you have to pick from. And again, I do know that there were some questions about some coursework and what the courses entailed. Just bear with me. I'm going to answer everything, I promise. And then what I don't answer, you will get additional documents immediately after my presentation because your counselors have them in their hands. Your 0 period phys ed, let's talk about this for a second. You will have your choice of 3 options. You will do either a traditional 9th period, grade 9 phys ed, like all other 9th graders take. You will do strength and conditioning as an option, or you can do yoga. Now, if you are a current 8th grader with intentions of going to play at the collegiate level for sports, and I don't care which sport we're talking about, whether that's football, basketball, baseball, hockey, volleyball, what have you. If you have intent to play at the collegiate level, when you sit down with your counselor to select courses, you're going to make that intent known. We will put you on a list, and our coaches will determine if you are placed in what we are calling a skills and drills course, 0 period for phys ed. Okay? Your world language, and again, start to note that orange box that is going to show on those Carnegie Unit screens. Your world language, you have your choice. Italian, French, and Spanish are our 3 primary languages. If you would like college credit for a world language, meaning you don't want to have to take college level language when you actually are on campus, you can take French. We have a dual enrollment program. And some of you are bilingual with Spanish, which means you are born in the United States, but you speak Spanish, but you're not as 100% fluent, or maybe your grammar and your writing isn't as strong, but you definitely don't belong in Spanish 1. We do offer Spanish for heritage speakers as an option. Again, I have to highlight that you only need 1 year to graduate high school. You need 2 years of the same language to get into a 4-year college or university, but you may take up to 4 years, including AP level, if you remain within the same language. So this will be a choice that you'll have to think about. We're going to start talking about our free electives now. And when you get the presentation, you'll be able to click on this link, because for those of you who haven't been on campus in a bit, our tennis courts are no longer our tennis courts. That's why I included the picture of where the tennis courts were. We have a brand new building. It's anticipated to open in the fall of 2025. We want to have this built, ready, and fully staffed for you when we start in September on the first day of school. And this is our state-of-the-art vocational program. And a lot of our new programs and some of our older programs are going to be in this building. So I'm going to highlight some of those programs as we go through. Before we get into specifics, I need you to understand that under 21st century, pretty much anything you want to be when you grow up falls under 21st century, and they're called career strands. So in Bayonne High School, we offer all of these strands and then some that will open up in grade 10 for you. And we're going to highlight all of them as I go through. Anything with an asterisk next to it means that it's a 4-year program that you can go through. You can build on level 1 and continue to take courses throughout and really focus on that specific content area or career strand to help you get into that specific major in college. So let's start. I have an automotive program. My automotive coursework, actually physically working on cars, does not begin until grade 10. However, if you want to focus on automotive, your elective as a freshman would be computers as a tool. It is a specific course that's meant for 21st century, it meets that graduation requirement, but it's also meant to help you transition directly into the automotive program because of some of the computer skills that you will be learning. We also offer a buildings and construction trades strand, and your course for next year, should you choose, is the building trades cycle. Each marking period you take a different shop class. That would be carpentry, electricity, plumbing, and welding. And at the end of the year, you will focus specifically on one of those trades for your remaining 3 years if you wanted to focus specifically on building trades. If you don't want to focus on a specific building trades, but you do want to learn and dabble a little bit in each of these fields, you can still do that and take it as a 1-year class and then be done. But this course is only available in grade 9. We are offering a 21st century business elective that is new for us for next year. It's called Business Technology and Career Skills. It is just an overview of business and some skills that you will need in business, including some computer skills and some career exploration all merged into one. In computer science, I have 2 choices. Now, my computer science courses are very specific to your math ability and your math level. If you are currently in Algebra 1, you can go into Coding 1 as a freshman. If you are currently in Math 8, you will start in App Design because the coding class requires you to have passed Algebra 1. Now, that being said, if you are currently in Algebra 1 and you want to start with app design, we will not stop you. You are more than welcome to start with app design and then build up, but you cannot go the reverse. You need to have Algebra 1 completed in order to do Coding 1. We have a cosmetology program, and this is going to be one of our programs along with automotive and building trades that will be housed into our new state-of-the-art facility. So our In Vogue course is the beginning of a cosmetology program focusing on hairs, nails, manicures, pedicures, facials, and some barbering. We have an introductory level engineering course. This is one of 2 engineering courses currently offered. We are revisiting this program to make sure that we have a 3rd and 4th year offering available. So after you complete your 2 years, you will be able to continue in this program. Fashion design is another program that will be moving into the new building. Clothing Design 1 will be offered. Again, it'll be in the state-of-the-art building, all brand new equipment, and you will learn all different ins and outs in clothing design and construction. It is our vision that by the time you finish level 4, you will be doing a little bit of interior design with some of those building trades progress and programs that they're building. They're going to build a house, and you might be staging the house and building the curtains or fashioning the curtains and the core and paint color of the rooms. Again, this is a program that is being revamped and changed, so you will be the first set of students that are going to go through the 4-year brand new cycle in the brand new building. Brand new to us, and very rare and hard to find throughout Hudson County and most New Jersey schools, is health science with 2 specific concentrations. New for us next year, we are offering an exercise science option or an allied health science option. So if you are thinking of going into anything in the medical field, doctor, nurse, EMT, paramedic, pharmacist, you may want to go by way of allied health. If you are thinking of exercise science, athletic training, physical therapy, you want to go by way of exercise science route. This is a brand new program in our brand new building. The sequence is a structured sequence for 4 years where you're going to be taking specific coursework specific to either allied health or exercise science. Both of you, allied health and exercise science students, are able to take an additional course. So if you recall, I said some of you might want to do an optional class. So if I was interested in allied health, in addition to doing my Intro to Allied Health course, I would also want to take Introduction to Medical Terminology. Same thing with my exercise science students. You want to take the Introduction to Exercise Science and Sports Medicine, and then take that medical terminology course as well. Maybe you just want to take a course to see what it's about, that is fine. But if you are thinking of this is my field, my area of concentration, then you're going to want to double up with both of these classes as a freshman. We have hospitality, that's another career strand, and we have revamped this program. It's an introductory to travel, tourism, and cruise industry. It used to be 2 different courses, but like I had mentioned, it is redone. New curriculum coming out for a 4-year sequence, and this will be the first course in the sequence. We are currently working with the Army, and we will be having a junior ROTC program for 4 years. This will help students who are interested in either enlisting or going in as an officer or going into any of the academies upon graduation. This will be a 4-year track, but your first starting course is Careers in the Armed Forces. We have changed our public safety course. This program will be housed in our brand new building as well. We have, just like my health sciences, we have 2 areas of concentration. You can do a law enforcement or a fire safety option, and we have a 4-year structured program for you, where over the course of the 4 years, you are going to do different courses to specialize in that specific field. These are your 2 courses that you can choose from as a freshman. We have a brand new teacher education program. Again, you will need to take both of these courses if this is something you want to major in for 4 years. The Introduction to Education course and a Child Development course. The vision of this program is by the time you are done senior year, you will be doing a high school student teaching practicum assignment where you will be going out into the elementary schools and be working in the classroom with another teacher. We have a supply chain, logistics, and port management course as Hi everyone, sorry for that. Had a bit of a technical issue again. I'm going to start this slide over. I want to make sure that you all understand that if you do not want to focus on 21st century as an elective, then you can meet your fine and performing arts requirement. All of the courses listed on the screen are open to all incoming freshmen. Anything with a number after it means I have 4 years of that specific course, so you can take it over 4 years if you choose. Information about auditioning for a higher level will be given after we return from winter break, and your counselors will be notifying you of those specific dates. So don't worry about it right now. No, you did not miss anything. Those dates will be set come January, and we will let you know when they are. Keep in mind, performing arts requires you just to do what the title says, perform in front of a group. That could be in a classroom setting, that could be on a stage, that could be in a concert in front of lots of students in an evening program. If performing is not something you want to do, that is completely okay. We just then recommend that you go into the visual arts. Right? Visual arts is not performance-based. You're going to work independently in the classroom, and you can focus on art, graphic arts, photography, all of which are offered over 4 years, or my observational drawing course. Or you can go into the media arts, which is really where I'm sitting now in the TV studio, and you can focus on anything in media. So that would be American film and TV. We have an introduction to video production. We have student film, which is an introduction to film studying and filmmaking. And then we have a specific course that runs 0 period for Ben TV's morning announcements, right? When you get here at Bayonne High School, live from the Hive broadcasts, and you watch our students produce all aspects of our daily news. It happens every morning. Next up, we're back to academic electives, and you can see that orange Carnegie unit square on the screen for you. These are all considered academic-based courses. So when you needed 5 years of English, well, this is how you get those extra years of English in. We have 3 elective choices in English. I have 1, the scientific research and design option in science, and I have 3 options in social studies, starting with my AP Human Geo. But we also have African American history and facing history in ourselves. Social studies also offers a semester course. You will take both semesters in women's history. Okay, so there's actually a total of 4, but 3 are for a year. And then the other one is a series of 2 semester courses. So before I field some questions, and I do know there have been lots of questions, just bear with me because I think this will answer some of what happens next, okay? So you have an elective sheet. It's in front of you right now, and what I'm going to tell you is titles of these courses are subject to change. In fact, the paper you have in front of you, if you look under Allied Health, it says Dynamics of Healthcare. The revised one that will be in your Schoology group later this afternoon will actually say Introduction to Allied Health. As we are going through and revamping our programs, in some cases we are actually changing some names and some titles. The courses are the same, the titles just will be changing. So don't get hung up on a name change. You just are going to say what course you want, and we will make sure that we put that request in. So here's the course selective sheet that you should have been looking at and kind of taking notes on as we were going through. And again, if you want a clean copy later this evening when you're home, go on to the Schoology group and you can print off the new one that will have the correct titles on it, or the correct as of today titles. After this presentation is over, you are going to be receiving a handout. It's a multi-page document. I think it's like 6 or 7 pages long, and it gives you a description of every single elective that I just went over. So those of you who want to know what language coding is, I have no idea. But if I were to read Coding 1, I would be able to tell you which language you will be using. And I know that was a question that was asked. Let me see. Coding 1 is going to be Java. Okay. Then you will be taking today and tomorrow to sit down with your parents, take a look at the paper that you have in front of you, read over the course descriptions. This presentation, the PowerPoint as well as the video, will be shared with you in the Schoology group. You can listen to it several times in order to make your decisions. And then starting on Wednesday, Mr. Aligo, Mrs. Rivera, and myself will be traveling to all of those schools between Wednesday the 4th and Friday the 13th to sit with you one-on-one and help you pick your classes. After that, your selection sheet will be due back the following week. Okay, Mr. Aligo and Mrs. Rivera will be back in your school during a specific time to collect your paperwork. In case there's any questions that your parents change your mind, they will meet with you on any corrections that need to be done. And then we are set to leave for winter break. And then your scheduling and your course selections are done and finished. I need you to be very mindful that the Bayonne School District is very proud of our students and where we have gone over the course of the last several years. Whatever you would like to see your future hold will determine on how much work you put in to make that dream a reality. My counselors, and there's 14 high school counselors that will help you with college applications, career exploration, and everything from strengths on an academic schedule to your college writing. We're going to help you through the process, but you have to do the coursework, and then we will be adding your school to this list of where kids are going. As a friendly reminder, when you have questions, I know that Mr. Aligo and Mrs. Rivera are not in your buildings every single day. They do man their Schoology page. They are the ones that will be dropping updated documents in that Schoology group. Most of you are already in the Schoology group, however, some of you are not. So you need to join that group. All of the documentation that you will need and have been given will also be placed there. And if you have any follow-up questions or if your parents have any questions, you can reach out to them directly. So with that being said, I'm going to stay on my screen and I'm going to field some questions. So bear with me because I have Mrs. Battaglino with me this morning and she will be manning my chat.
Wanted to confirm when they asked about the grade level average that you have to stay in this program. They didn't know if that you meant that for the early college program or what is the, like, can you fail out of being an honor student here?
Okay, so the question, just to clarify, and I'm going to restate the question and then give you my answer. Earlier, I answered the question as what is the grade level that you need to stay in the program. I was under the impression that you were asking about early college. So I'm going to do that in two parts. The early college program, should you choose to apply and be accepted, you must maintain a C average to stay in the honors program. To stay in the early college program. To stay in the honors program, we want you to be successful, okay? You are all been accepted into honors, and we would love for you all to stay there. If for some reason you are struggling, we are not going to let you fail. We do not want you to fail English 9 and have to repeat it. So if you start to struggle in your academics, that is where you and your school counselor will have to sit down and talk. And if I need to adjust your schedule and level you down to a level A, I will do that. It is our plan and our intent to see you be successful, and not every student can handle 4 honors level courses. Okay, I think that should answer the question. So there's no real grade requirement, but there is a set academic rigor for my honors program. There's a lot of summer coursework that you need to do in preparation. You're on target to go into AP level courses junior and senior year. Many of our students who fall into the circle of 10 and valedictorian salutatorian, meaning number 1 and number 2 of our graduating class, are these honors level students or our early college students. So if that is your vision and your intent, please keep that in mind when you are figuring out what courses you plan to take.
When do applications close?
Now the applications, you should have already applied. When you sit and meet with your counselor, they will make sure your application is done, but as an honors student, you should have already applied. So for you guys, you need to do that like when you get home today.
Can you clarify gym 0 period? Is that the only option? Can a student take health or yoga instead of gym?
So the question is about 0 period gym. Okay, we call gym physical education at the high school. Gym is not a course, it's physical education. You will take 3 marking periods of physical education, whether that's going to be yoga or the traditional PE class or strength and conditioning. You will have that for 3 marking periods. The 4th marking period is your health option. You are not able to mix match your elective choices. You can't do 1 marking period of health with 1 marking period of yoga, with 1 marking period of skills and drills and 1 marking period of strength and conditioning. You will have to focus in on one specific area, and they are 0 period. Skills and Drills is specific for our top student athletes who are looking to play at a Division I college, or two for that matter. It's not open to everyone. If you have a vision and a goal that you want to play at a competitive college level, then when you sit down for your school with your school counselor, you will tell them that you want to play college baseball. And we will put you on a list, and we will determine which students will be going into Skills and Drills. That is not open to everyone. We are just doing an interest request at the current moment. Okay, I really do appreciate your time and your patience. We had a little bit of a hiccup here with our process with technology and with the sound. I appreciate this. Again, later this afternoon, all of this will be in the Schoology group for you to view. The video will be there later this evening. We're going to have to splice it and merge it and then drop it in the Schoology group for your use. And if you have any questions, please email Mr. Aligo and or Mrs. Rivera. They are the two counselors who are going to be sitting with you over the next couple days and scheduling and picking courses with you. I thank you very much, and you guys have a wonderful day.